It's absolutely imperative that stock movement be reduced to nil in some circumstances. We have a change of routine for our staff, our stock handling staff, work the cattle extremely early, and I'm meaning right through starting at 2 a.m. in the morning. If we have cattle to truck to the works, we'll load those cattle as early as 2 a.m. and we'll have our stock people finished work by 8 o'clock in the morning and go home. It just makes good sense to reduce all movements of cattle during the heat, and if there is a heat load event on, it is far better to remove your stock people and including your feeding people, because what you want is the cattle to cope with the stress that they've got to deal with at the time. So any movement at all, I have ceased on a number of occasions the cattle handling and indeed the cattle feeding. You are much better to leave the cattle cope with the conditions that they have to on the day.
We also adjust a few of our management practices so that we're not handling cattle anywhere in the heat of the day, and the same with the trucking and receiving of cattle. We juggle it around the heat of the day, and at times we'll cancel it if necessary so we're not placing the cattle at risk.
When we have a heat stress event, we cease as much cattle movement as possible, and if we have to ship cattle, it's all done before 8 o'clock in the morning. Internal movements in the feeder again are all conducted before 8 a.m. in the morning. The other thing is shipping the cattle at the right time of day, and we've now got producers who ship cattle through the night, so they'll load them late in the day. The cattle will travel at night time and arrive here very early in the morning, and we believe that's the best way of handling these susceptible cattle.